Have you ever felt like you were fundamentally different from those around you? Not in an overt or attention-seeking way, but in the quiet mechanics of your mind, in the unshakable independence of your spirit? While others chase validation, trends, and social approval, you find yourself indifferent to these pursuits, guided instead by an internal compass that refuses to conform. If this resonates with you, then you might belong to a rare category of men known as Sigma males. These individuals are not defined by dominance or rebellion, but by an intrinsic self-sufficiency that sets them apart. They don't seek permission to exist on their own terms. They don't follow the herd because their instincts whisper a different truth, one that most people either ignore or fail to recognize. What makes a Sigma male unique is not something that can be imitated or acquired through effort. It is an innate quality, embedded in their psyche from the very beginning. Unlike the pursuit of wealth, fame, or superficial success, the Sigma male is granted something far more profound: a mind that sees beyond illusions, a spirit that remains unshaken in chaos, and an insatiable hunger for truth that refuses to settle for shallow answers. If you've always felt that your silence speaks louder than your words, that your solitude brings a strange kind of peace, or that being misunderstood doesn't disturb you, then these are not flaws. They are signs. Signs that you were never meant to blend in. Signs that you were designed to stand alone, rise on your own terms, and fulfill a purpose that only a rare few are entrusted with. Let's delve deeper into the defining traits of the Sigma male, exploring each characteristic in detail to understand why this archetype is so distinct and so powerful. 1. The eyes to spot what will break before it breaks. The uncommon ability to see beneath the surface. There is something almost otherworldly about a person who can detect the faintest cracks in a situation, a relationship, or a system long before anyone else even suspects a flaw exists. This is a hallmark of the Sigma male, a rare mental wiring that allows him to notice the subtle signs of collapse while the rest of the world remains fixated on the surface. This heightened perception is not born from paranoia or constant suspicion. Rather, it is a product of mind that instinctively searches beyond appearances, quietly scanning for truths that others overlook. While most people are content to accept what they see, the polished smiles, the smooth talk, the well-arranged facades, the Sigma male's focus drifts past the shine. He doesn't just observe what's presented. He peers into the underlying framework that holds it together. His questions are not the obvious ones. He looks where others never think to look, tracing the thin lines of weakness that hint at deeper instability. Picture this. You walk into a breathtakingly beautiful home. The paint is fresh. The floors shine like glass. The decor is carefully curated to impress. Everyone else is dazzled by its charm, but the Sigma male notices something different. A faint creak underfoot, a slight sag in the ceiling, a low, electrical hum in the walls. These are details most would dismiss as nothing, but to him, they are early warnings. He knows what others won't realize until much later. Beneath the beauty lies fragility. This same awareness extends to people. In friendships, a forced laugh stands out like a siren. In relationships, a compliment delivered without warmth becomes a clue. Where most take these moments at face value, the Sigma male senses the deeper truth. He may not say anything immediately. He rarely rushes to judgment, but he begins to connect the dots, mentally preparing for what will inevitably unfold. So when the facade finally crumbles, when betrayal surfaces, or when a partnership disintegrates, others react with shock. The Sigma male does not. He already saw it coming. This foresight, however, is a heavy gift. It means recognizing betrayal before it strikes. It means walking away from situations others still believe in. It means seeing the truth in someone's eyes when they smile at you. To outsiders, it can make the Sigma male appear cold, detached, or even cynical. But it is not detachment. It is survival. In a world saturated with noise, distraction, and superficial charm, he moves quietly but decisively, adjusting course before disaster strikes. He doesn't wait for the floor to collapse beneath him. He steps off it before the first splinter breaks. This isn't luck. It's instinct shaped by solitude and sharpened through independence. A natural radar that comes from not needing approval to validate his perception. Where others cling to illusions, the Sigma male is already building something stronger elsewhere. 2. The energy that drains a fake, the unsettling presence of authenticity. Some people can walk into a room and instantly unsettle the most practiced social performers, not by confrontation, not by arrogance, but simply by being unapologetically real. This is the quiet but undeniable energy of the Sigma male. He doesn't wear a mask, doesn't tailor his personality to fit the crowd, and doesn't bend himself into shapes to please others. And in a world where so many survive by hiding behind rehearsed charm, his authenticity feels dangerous. Fake people, manipulators, and social opportunists thrive on environments where everyone plays along. They rely on empty compliments, forced laughter, and carefully crafted personas to win approval. But when they encounter a Sigma male, these tricks fall flat. He doesn't laugh to belong. He doesn't flatter to smooth over discomfort. He doesn't join in empty chatter to pass the time. When he speaks, it's because there's something worth saying. When he listens, it's with genuine curiosity, not as a setup for his turn to talk. The effect is much like stepping out from a room filled with soft, artificial lighting into the harsh brilliance of the midday sun. Under the gentle glow, flaws disappear and everything looks perfect. But in natural light, reality is revealed, sharp, unfiltered, and undeniable. A Sigma male's presence is that sunlight. He doesn't seek to expose anyone, but his realness makes artificiality impossible to maintain. For those who rely on manipulation, this is deeply uncomfortable. Compliments slide off him because he recognizes insincerity. Guilt trips fail because he refuses to be emotionally cornered. Manufactured drama evaporates because he won't play into it. Without their usual tactics working, the pretenders find themselves either dropping the act or walking away altogether. This silent, unsettling power does not require volume or aggression. It exists naturally in how the Sigma male carries himself, with a calm self-assurance that doesn't need outside permission to be valid. To those built on pretense, it feels like standing in front of a mirror that will never tell a flattering lie. 3. A soul that doesn't beg, it builds. The quiet power of self-sufficient creation. While the majority of people pause at life's thresholds, waiting for permission slips, pats on the back, or nods of validation before taking the first step, the Sigma male moves to a different beat entirely. He is not fueled by applause, nor paralyzed by its absence. His soul does not knock timidly at opportunity's door. It fashions its own entrance. Where the average person sees a wall, he sees bricks, mortar, and the possibility of crafting something entirely new. This isn't defiance for its own sake, nor the arrogance of thinking he's above the rules. It's simply the way he's wired. To him, creation is not an event, it's a lifestyle. The schoolyard example that defines a lifetime. Think back to the days of school when group projects were announced. Most students sat nervously in their seats, waiting for the right team to pick them, worried about whether they'd be chosen at all. The Sigma male, however, was a different creature. Before the teacher had even finished assigning the task, he was already halfway through his own version of the project, quietly charting his own course. This pattern doesn't vanish with age. It's the blueprint of his life. In the professional world, while colleagues jostle for visibility in front of boss, he's already deep into solving problems no one has even thought to assign. In relationships, he does not resort to pleading for affection or performing for attention. Instead, he channels his energy into becoming a person worthy of genuine respect and admiration. In his personal growth, he doesn't wait for inspiration to strike. He crafts habits and disciplines himself daily, building momentum brick by brick. The divine gift of unseen labor. Nature, or perhaps God himself, didn't bestow the Sigma male with a charm that makes crowds swoon or the easy social advantages that open doors for others. Instead, he was given a rarer gift, one that is infinitely more powerful. The grit to work without praise, the patience to keep building when no one is watching, and the focus to press forward even when the rest of the world is distracted by noise and trends. His progress is not tied to public acknowledgement. His worth is not up for public vote. It is determined in the quiet, steady process of becoming. The paradox of invisible progress. There is a deep, almost mystical power in building without an audience. Without spectators, there are no outside opinions to water down the vision, no premature expectations to warp the process, and no early exposure to invite sabotage. This is why the Sigma's work often hits with unexpected force when it finally emerges. It comes from a place of refined solitude, forged without compromise. Others marvel at the end result. unaware of the countless silent hours poured into it. His creations are not designed by committee, nor crafted for fleeting online approval. They are born from the furnace of disciplined isolation, and that's why they endure. 4. A radar for hidden agendas. Seeing what isn't said. Most people hear conversations. The Sigma male hears the spaces between them. He doesn't just catch words. He senses silence. He notices the subtle flicker in someone's eyes when they're holding back, the fractional pause before reply, the micro-expression that doesn't match the tone of the voice. This isn't paranoia. It's pattern recognition, sharpened by years of quiet observation. While the world busies itself with what is loudly declared, he is tuned to what is quietly concealed. The business meeting tell. Picture a polished corporate pitch. The entrepreneur speaks with confidence, armed with charts and projections. The investors nod approvingly, smiling in all the right places. Most in the room take this at face value. But the Sigma male catches something else. The too quick blinking when revenue figures are discussed, the slight hesitation before addressing a tough question, the overly firm handshake that tries a little too hard to project confidence. Where others see assurance, he detects anxiety. This ability often spares him from stepping into deals that look perfect on paper, but hide fatal flaws beneath the surface. Why you can't lie to a Sigma. Attempts at deception tend to fail for 3 reasons. First, he trusts actions far more than words. Promises are meaningless without a proven track record. Second, he's perfectly comfortable with silence. While most liars rush to fill awkward gaps, he lets the pause breathe until the truth reveals itself. Third, he has invested years into studying human nature, making inconsistencies stand out to him like neon signs. The spiritual aspect of discernment. This radar for hidden agendas often feels uncanny, almost supernatural. Some call it intuition, others wisdom. Whatever the label, it enables him to sense when a romantic partner is quietly detaching before they say a word, when a friend is masking envy with a smile, or when a business opportunity, though exciting to everyone else, is fatally flawed. It is not infallible, but it is accurate enough to make his ability to sidestep emotional and professional traps seem almost psychic. 5. The ability to detach without becoming bitter. The art of clean release. Letting go is something most people wrestle with. They cling to fading relationships, hoping for change that will never come. They hold on to failed investments, reasoning that they put in too much to walk away. They even grip tightly to old identities, afraid of who they might be without them. The Sigma male understands a truth that liberates him. Not everything that exits your life is a loss. Some departures are not tragedies, but divine evacuations, clearing the path for something better. The breakup difference. When relationships collapse, the reactions tell the story. The average man may beg, bargain, or harden into bitterness. The Sigma male grieves, yes, but briefly. Then he pivots toward growth. His composure and heartbreak isn't the product of emotional suppression, but emotional intelligence. He knows that to keep grasping at what is already left is to prolong the wound. The business betrayal response. If betrayed in business, the weak may seek revenge, staining their own integrity in the process. The Sigma male takes another route. He lets the betrayal reveal the betrayer, saying more with silence than retaliation ever could, and then he ascends to higher ground. For him, the sharpest form of justice is progress, the spiritual discipline of release. This detachment is rooted in 3 things. Self-respect, because his value isn't defined by who stays or leaves. A forward focus, because he knows the future holds more than the past can offer. And trust in divine justice, because he believes what is truly his cannot be stolen, and what was taken was never his to keep. Sigma males don't grow cold with time. They grow selective. Their hearts remain open, but each lesson sharpens their discernment. 6. The mind that questions everything, even itself. The uncomfortable inner dialogue. Most people avoid deep self-examination, drowning their inner questions in streaming shows, social media scrolls, or busy work. The Sigma male takes the harder road. He steps into the quiet and interrogates himself without mercy. Is this desire truly mine, or was it programmed into me? Am I being honest, or am I just telling myself comfortable lies? Is my solitude strength, or am I hiding from connection? This relentless self-audit strips away illusions before they can take root. Why most can't handle this level of honesty. To face your own contradictions requires emotional endurance to sit with discomfort, intellectual humility to admit you might be wrong, and spiritual courage to actually change when necessary. It is far easier to blame others than to interrogate your own soul, which is why so few people cultivate this sigma trait, the competitive advantage of self-doubt. Ironically, this habit of constant questioning doesn't weaken his confidence. It fortifies it. Every belief he holds has been stress-tested. Every opinion has been challenged. Every value has been placed under a microscope. What remains after this process is not fragile ego or inherited ideology, but conviction earned through trial, and conviction earned is unshakable. 7. The fire to build a kingdom silently. In a world obsessed with constant broadcasting, where people can't resist posting every fleeting thought or half-formed plan, the Sigma male operates on a different wavelength. Most individuals announce their ideas before they've even tested them, seeking a quick hit of validation from likes and comments. They post progress updates not because they've achieved something, but because they want to look productive. The Sigma male finds this approach hollow. He knows that true achievement grows best in silence. For him, there's an unshakable belief that real power is nurtured in private and revealed only when the work is complete. History remembers the quiet builders more than the noisy pretenders. Nikola Tesla worked in near isolation, developing inventions decades ahead of his time, letting his results speak louder than any public announcement. J.D. Salinger withdrew from the spotlight to create literary works that became timeless classics. Stanley Kubrick kept his distance from Hollywood gossip, perfecting his films in secrecy until they emerged as masterpieces. These individuals prove what Sigma males instinctively know, that substance, not showmanship, creates legacies. The modern Sigma follows the same path. While others waste hours scrolling through social media feeds, he's quietly mastering high-income skills. While friends talk endlessly about starting a business one day, he's already building one in the background. While the internet is flooded with gym selfies and progress photos, he develops his body and sharpens his mind with no need for applause. He understands that the early stages of mastery are fragile, and privacy is their greatest protection. 8. A compass that points inward. Most people live with their eyes fixed outward, constantly scanning for cues on how to think, act, or feel. They check likes before deciding if something is good. They read reviews before trusting their own experiences. They hesitate to pursue dreams until someone else gives them permission. This dependence on external validation is a trap the Sigma male refuses to step into. His guidance system is internal, rooted in an unwavering trust in his own intuition. This manifests in every area of his life. At work, while colleagues chase promotions because they look impressive on a resume, the Sigma male pursues mastery simply because it fulfills him. In relationships, he doesn't bend or abandon his standards just to keep someone around. He would rather stand alone than compromise his core values. In lifestyle, while trends rise and fade, he focuses on cultivating principles and habits that are timeless and deeply aligned with his personal purpose. This inner compass isn't something he was born with fully formed. It is forged through life experience. Solitude teaches him to hear his own voice clearly, away from the noise of the world. Failure teaches him that blindly following others' opinions often leads to regret. Success confirms that when he trusts himself, the results are stronger, more authentic, and more satisfying than anything achieved by consensus. This self-reliance allows him to move through life with quiet confidence, guided not by the shifting winds of public opinion, but by the steady pull of his own truth. 9. Unbreakable self-respect, the silent fortress of worth. In a world where modern men scramble for external validation, chasing social media likes, pursuing fleeting sexual conquests, and flaunting material possessions to prove their worth, the Sigma male operates from a completely different foundation. His sense of value is not a fragile balloon waiting to be popped by criticism or rejection. It is an unshakable fortress built deep within. This is not arrogance. It is quiet certainty, a deep, almost sacred understanding that no rejection, no insult, and no dismissal from society can take away what God has already placed within him. He lives in a state of internal abundance, where his worth is assigned by something far greater than human opinion. At the core of this self-respect are 3 unshakable pillars. The first is non-negotiable standards. A Sigma male walks away from situations where his dignity is compromised without explanation, without argument, without the need for anyone's understanding. His time and energy are precious resources, guarded as treasures, not tossed around like coins in a street market. He will never beg for attention, affection, or approval, because doing so would mean surrendering a piece of his sovereignty. The second pillar is emotional equilibrium. Unlike those who ride emotional highs and lows based on external events, he remains centered. Success does not inflate him, and failure does not crush him. Praise and criticism are both received with the same calm demeanor, because he knows they are nothing more than reflections of other people's projections, not truths about his essence. The third pillar is action-based integrity. His promises are not mere words. They are contracts with his own soul. He acts with the same principles when no one is watching as he does when the world is paying attention. Temporary gain never tempts him to betray his values. In daily life, these principles manifest with clarity. In dating, he refuses to chase disinterested women, ends relationships at the first sign of contempt, and prefers solitude over companionship that lacks respect. In business, he declines lucrative offers that require moral compromise, lets go of toxic clients even if it means financial loss, and never grovels for opportunities. His work is the proof of his capability. On a spiritual level, his self-respect is anchored in the knowledge that his value was given by the Creator, not by societal approval. Temporary setbacks cannot alter eternal purpose, and no human opinion can override divine truth. 10. The pain threshold of a warrior. Pressure forged in the crucible. The Sigma male's relationship with pain is unlike most men's. He does not merely survive hardship. He absorbs it, processes it, and transforms it into something greater. While others crumble under the relentless blows of life, the Sigma bends, adapts, and emerges sharper, stronger, and more resolute. This is not the shallow bravado of someone pretending to be tough. It is a form of spiritual alchemy, where suffering becomes a raw material for strength. 3 great battles forge this resilience. The first is the solitude wars. The Sigma male can endure long stretches of loneliness without bitterness creeping into his soul. He learns to turn isolation into a tool for self-discovery, building a sense of wholeness that does not depend on another's presence or approval. The second is the betrayal campaigns. At some point, he will be misunderstood by family, drift away from friends he once considered brothers, and discover that not everyone celebrates his growth. These betrayals are not just painful, they are clarifying, stripping away false loyalties and illusions. The third is the purpose siege. This is the grueling season when years of effort pass with little recognition, when temptation whispers to abandon the path, and the nights are long with questions and doubt. It is here that the Sigma learns whether his vision is truly his own or merely borrowed ambition. From these battles comes a warrior's mindset. Pain becomes information, not punishment. Struggle is reframed as training, not torture. Scars are seen as medals, proof of battle survived, not wounds to be hidden. In entrepreneurship, this means laboring for years without applause, handling rejection from investors with composure, and staying committed when markets collapse. In personal growth, it means showing up at the gym when motivation has long faded, maintaining discipline through heartbreak, and creating even when no one is watching. 11. A brain that doesn't just think, it constructs worlds. The Sigma male is not content to merely consume the realities handed to him. He designs his own. His mind is not a passive receiver of information, but an architect's workshop where ideas are drafted, revised, and eventually brought into the physical world. This architect mentality is what sets him apart from both dreamers and doers. He is both. His creative process begins with pattern recognition. He notices connections others miss, linking concepts from wildly different domains into something entirely new. He spots flaws in systems others have resigned themselves to, refusing to accept that's just the way it is as a valid answer. Next comes mental prototyping. Before committing to action, he runs countless simulations in his mind. He anticipates potential points of failure and prepares for them in advance, reducing risk without stifling innovation. Then follows iterative building, testing, refining, and testing again until the vision takes shape. This is not hurried creativity. It is disciplined construction. History offers examples of Sigma-like builders. Leonardo da Vinci blending art, science, and engineering. Elon Musk reimagining entire industries at once. Bruce Lee crafting original martial philosophy by merging disciplines. To cultivate this trait, the Sigma engages in solitary deep work, carving out 3 to 4 hours of uninterrupted thought. He deliberately studies multiple fields to merge insights in new ways, and he applies ideas in real-world scenarios, recording lessons with the precision of a scientist. 12. Spiritual independence, the unorthodox path to the divine. For the Sigma male, spirituality is not an inherited ritual. It is a personal odyssey. His relationship with God is intimate, often unconventional, and shaped more by lived experience than by formal instruction. He prefers direct revelation over dogma, seeking personal encounters with the divine rather than relying solely on second-hand teachings. He may question religious traditions, yet he respects their origins and wisdom. His spirituality manifests as practical holiness, a focus on becoming a better human being rather than simply checking boxes of religious activity. He sees excellence in daily work as an offering, transforming even business into a form of worship. Most of all, his faith is silent but strong. He rarely discusses spiritual experiences openly, choosing instead to embody his beliefs through action. Like many mystics, he endures the dark night of the soul, periods of intense isolation, crises of faith, and revelations too personal to explain. These trials deepen his conviction and refine his spirit. In modern life, this independence means viewing business as a calling, seeing relationships as mirrors for spiritual lessons, and interpreting suffering as sacred preparation for greater purpose. Final words, the Sigma's calling. If you see yourself in these traits, understand this. You were designed differently. The very qualities that make you feel like an outsider are the features that give you your power. The world does not need your compliance. It needs your vision, your courage, your ability to stand apart and create. Your path will demand bravery. You will walk alone more often than not. Many will misunderstand you. Some will resent you. But at the end of your journey, when you look back at what you have built and who you have become, every lonely night, every heartbreak, every silent victory will have been worth it. You were never meant to follow. You were born to forge. Now, go build a world only you can see. Do you resonate with the ideas I shared in this video? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you're interested in more content about Sigma males, explore the other videos on this channel. Thanks for watching.